I was really bad at speaking English when I was younger. And in fact, my first time going abroad to America, I couldn't order a coffee without feeling humiliated. I remember thinking, wow, everyone here speaks English so fluently. I wish I could speak like them. I thought that they were born with some kind of gift that made them better than me. I wanted to find out if there was a secret to fluency. Let me tell you a story about two students. Both of these students are from the same country. You have to make practice a part of your routine, something that you do every day, even if it's just for 15 minutes. If you want to become fluent, you have to be consistent. It's better to study for 15 minutes every day than 3 hours once a month. Don't just sit at home and study grammar rules and vocabulary lists. Go out and experience English in real-life situations. Talk to native speakers, watch English movies and TV shows, listen to English music. There are so many different ways to make practice more fun and engaging. Find what works for you and do that. I was so embarrassed, but I didn't let it stop me. I just laughed it off and continued with my presentation. Choose something that is interesting to you so that you enjoy the process. Choose something that is interesting to you. Don't worry about the details, just enjoy the process. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results immediately. Just stick with your fluency plan and you will eventually reach your goals. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Bye. As you read, try to visualize the story in your head. To become fluent, you need to make language learning a part of your daily routine and practice regularly. Don't be afraid to make mistakes and don't get discouraged if you don't see results immediately. Just stick with your fluency plan and you will eventually reach your goals. This will help you understand the text better and remember it longer. You can also try reading a blog or keeping a journal in English. This is a great way to practice your reading and writing skills at the same time. As you listen, try to understand as much as you can. Don't worry about the details, just get the general idea. You can also try listening to English music and singing along. This is a fun way to practice your listening and speaking skills at the same time. After the presentation, one of the participants came up to me and said, you made a mistake during your presentation, but I didn't care. I still understood what you were saying and I enjoyed your presentation. This is what I want you to remember. Don't let the fear of making mistakes stop you from practicing your fluency. Make mistakes, learn from them, and keep practicing. They are the same age. They study the same number of hours per week. They have the same resources. Fluency isn't just about speaking. It's also about listening, reading, and writing. To become fluent in any of these skills, you need to practice it regularly. Here are some tips to help you practice listening, reading, and writing. Start with small goals and then work your way up. For example, if you want to improve your speaking skills, don't try to become a master conversationalist overnight. Instead, start with small goals like practicing basic conversations with a friend or family member, or even with yourself. Once you're comfortable with that, you can start practicing more complex conversations. But one student is fluent in English and the other one struggles with basic conversations. Why is that? The answer is simple. One student has made fluency a habit, while the other one hasn't. Having someone to practice with can make a big difference. It's also helpful to have someone who can give you feedback on your speaking skills. When I was learning English, I used to be very afraid of making mistakes. I was so afraid that I wouldn't make mistakes in front of native speakers. But this was a big mistake. Making mistakes is an important part of the learning process. When you make a mistake, it gives you an opportunity to learn and improve. The best way to improve your fluency is to practice speaking English as much as possible, even if you make mistakes. Native speakers make mistakes all the time. Even I make mistakes sometimes when I speak English. But we don't let that stop us. We just keep practicing and getting better. And don't forget to reward yourself when you reach a goal. This is an important step because it helps you stay motivated. When you reach a goal, take some time to celebrate your success. This will help you feel good about your progress and make you more likely to stick with your fluency plan. I read books, I talked to experts, I observed native speakers. And after many years, I finally found the answer. The secret to fluency is simple. Fluency isn't a gift, it's a habit. It's something that you develop over time through consistent effort. Fluency isn't something that you find, it's something that you create. I felt discouraged because I had been studying English for 8 years at that point, and I still felt like a beginner. But then something changed, something clicked. Hi guys! Today we're going to talk about a very important topic that is often misunderstood: fluency. What is fluency? Is it a gift or is it a habit? By the end of this lesson, you will learn how to develop your fluency step by step. So let's dive right in. The first thing that you need to know is that I wasn't always fluent in English. In fact, I've told this story before. When I was young, when I was a teenager, I used to study English every day. I would study grammar rules, vocabulary, listen to tapes, and read books. But when I went to the US for the first time, I realized that all of this studying wasn't enough to make me fluent. I couldn't understand native speakers. I couldn't use English in everyday situations. I felt frustrated and demotivated. I thought that maybe fluency was a gift that some people have and some people don't. I remember thinking, why can't I speak like a native speaker? When I came back to Brazil, I started looking for an answer. Let me repeat this again. Fluency isn't a gift, it's a habit. Becoming fluent means that you have to practice regularly. It's not enough to study hard once in a while. How can you make fluency a habit? First, you need to set realistic goals. Don't try to do too much at once. Second, you need to find ways to make practice more fun and engaging. Third, you need to find a study buddy or join a study group. Now let me share with you a very important tip that helped me become fluent. Let me tell you another story. Once I was giving a presentation in English and I made a big mistake. I said something that was completely wrong, so now let's move on to the next point. To practice your listening skills, you can start by listening to podcasts or watching videos in English. To practice your reading skills, you can start by reading easy books or articles in English. And finally, let me tell you that fluency takes time. In conclusion, fluency isn't a gift. It's a habit that is developed over time through consistent effort. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.